What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Buck and 2MC show. We are so happy to be here. Maria, tell the people what's up and what we got in store for them today.
What's up to the people? And Alexis, I need you to watch that road carefully. Eyes up.
I'm locked in.
Thanks for letting us up both take a break. Postseason, everybody's tired. We needed to sort some things out and catch our breath. We're going to move it to Thursday, as you can tell, because Thursday is no longer a Lady Vol SEC basketball game. So we are now Thursdays at 7:30. As always, first thing off, we will say thank you to our sponsors, Orange Mountain Designs, Tennessee Tap House, and of course, Blue Water Climate Control.
People always ask, where did we get the name Blue Water Climate Control? When a Navy ship casts off lines, exits the harbor, and loses sight of land, that's blue water sailing. It takes a team of people to do that. Tireless work, focus, and attention to detail. So much of starting a business is just like that. After it's done, you get filled with deep satisfaction for accomplishing something. And it's quickly followed by, now the real work begins. We're Blue Water Climate Control.
That's a cool ad. And Alexis, you probably didn't see it because you're driving. But we want to do the same thing for Orange Mountain Design. So, Terry, when you see this or when you're watching, we need to get inside your store and get some shots and some video so we can treat our advertisers the way they need to be treated. Because if not for them, we're not here. Everybody's starting to roll in. People saying hello. Alexis, NCAA tourney. Well, I assume you watched a lot. What'd you take away from that 2021 event?
Oh my, it was crazy. There were upsets, a lot of upsets, but I love the fact that everybody came in for the most part hungry. And every game, every round, it just got more and more intense, more and more physical. I love the physical play. I love that they had a sense of urgency and every possession mattered. I mean, it's literally the type of basketball not only that I love to play back in the day, but that I love to watch.
And Alexis, your audio is a little low, but I don't want you messing with your settings right now unless you come to a stop.
Not yet. We got a while.
All right. I don't know if yeah, you may have to yell. I don't know if you're on speakerphone or.
I'm not on the regular phone right now. But I definitely said that I love watching the basketball, that every possession mattered. The ladies were hungry. They were eating. Every round it got more physical. And it's just the type of basketball that I love to watch. But I also used to love playing that manner. That ladies put everything out online. I mean, like they were living in their last. So I was happy to be home and witness a Final Four and a whole NCAA tournament.
Just so you know, today is the 13th anniversary of the 2008 national title for Tennessee. So if you woke up feeling good today, that's maybe, if you didn't realize that, that's maybe why. 13 years ago, you guys were cutting nets after beating Stanford for Pat Summitt's 8th national title.
Woo, it's been that long, huh?
Yeah, that's what I said. 13 years, how did that happen? My goodness. Right. The one thing I liked is, you know what mattered in this tournament? Defense and board play. Where have we heard that before?
That is the epitome of Pat Summitt and Lady Ball basketball. Defense and rebounding. That's how you win championships. We saw it. Oh my goodness, we saw it. I loved it. It was literally the type of basketball that I grew up watching and that I was taught, and obviously that I had to play for Coach Summitt, so I had to play that type of ball too. So to see those girls do that, man, Coach was smiling down. I know it. And the end result of Tara Vanderveer winning on the year that she passes, Coach Summitt's title.
And I'll be honest, December, of course, is when that happened, when Tara surpassed Pat. That feels like 3 years ago right now. This has been the strangest year. I'm like, that was just December. That feels like a year ago.
It does feel like a while ago.
It's like time stood still. But yeah, that last possession for Stanford to win that national title, they had to play defense. And I mean, shout out to Ari McDonald. My goodness, she still almost made it.
Oh, yeah.
But they denied her the ball and made sure she did not get a good look at the basket, even though what a tremendous Final Four that kid had. My goodness.
Oh yeah, she had a great season. I love her grit. I love her heart, the passion that she plays the game with. I really enjoyed watching her play.
We also were obviously going to talk about the WNBA draft. And Kathy Hunter Rao, probably said that wrong. Sorry, Kathy. Just pointed out that Jenna Staddy is coming back to Georgia. I saw that tweet, and Q Morrison is also coming back to Georgia. Those were two seniors that were expected to go into the WNBA draft. Let's talk about the draft for a minute. 3 rounds, 12 taken in each round, 36 players total taken.
Yeah.
There were, at last count, there were 50-something college players who had declared for the draft. Of course, that's 2 less right now. Right. That doesn't even include international players.
Nope.
I mean, that I can see why, if you were a senior, the draft, the draft predictions I saw kind of put Jenna and Q in the 3rd round. I mean, if you're a 3rd round pick and you got a chance to go back to school, going back to school makes a lot of sense, particularly if you want to get some more education, work on that master's degree if you aren't already doing it, or because the overseas opportunities will come. But as you know, I mean, 2nd rounders typically don't make rosters in the WNBA. There are just not enough spots on those rosters. I know it's been a while since you played in it, but how even more competitive for roster spots is the WNBA now?
I mean, the talent level has continued to shoot up. So that window, that percentage of you being the one to make it, it goes down to slim and none. You know, so unless you're really certain that you're going in the 1st round, first top 5, whatever, yeah, I agree with you, Maria. Stay in school, try to compete for a national championship one more time, have a better season, get your stats up, and try to up your stock in the next draft.
And Renaya Davis, obviously, some rounds have put her at 3rd, some at 4th, some at 5th. The interesting thing is Atlanta picks 3rd, and there's a possibility that Renaya could go to Atlanta, which would make a lot of sense. I don't know if you've had time to get on Twitter today, but the WNBA has released its new jerseys for the season, and those things are absolute fire. I mean, they are incredible.
I haven't seen. I've actually been at a nonprofit event all day. That's why I'm just not headed home. But I have not seen it. But when I get home, in the middle of packing, because y'all know I'm coming to Knoxville tomorrow morning. Well, we start loading up tomorrow morning here, so I won't be there till tomorrow afternoon. But I haven't got a chance. But it's 2021. If these jerseys aren't fire, Maria, it's a problem. Like
they're incredible. They've got 3 versions, and they got Atlanta's Rebel version, and a lot of this is a nod to the way that the social justice and the way these players stepped up in the last year. Right. And Nike, you never quite. I mean, Nike is at one point. I thought all Nike did was had gray fabric, because it seemed like everything Nike put out was gray. I'm like, y'all got any more colors besides gray over there in that factory? But now they've got, I mean, there's Atlanta Dream is incredible. New York Liberty, Chicago Sky. Wait till you'll see the link. Wait till you see some of those jerseys. They're also going to be on sale at WNBA.com and Dick's Sporting Goods and Nike. I mean, they're going to be available, which is, I mean, just a huge step for women's basketball in the 25th year of the WNBA, which they're celebrating now. This is the first time we've gotten to talk to you, and a lot of people are asking, why are you moving back to Knoxville? What's going on? So catch everybody up with why you are loading the truck and headed home, so to speak.
I am headed home to my 2nd home. Everybody knows West Virginia. That's my first home, born and raised. But Tennessee, everybody also knows that's my second home. I am coming back to continue to do what I do here in North Carolina as far as basketball, private lessons, group lessons, clinics, camps, demonstrations, talking to people. And I have some like an opportunity with Revitalist Clinic. And we're actually out, the Collective Unfiltered will actually have them on a podcast in the next few episodes. But just being able to partner up and actually being able to make a difference for people that want it, not saying where I'm at, people don't want it, but kind of saying where I'm at, people don't want it. So they don't want it enough for me. And to go back and to be back home and to proudly wear the orange probably every day for the first month just because I miss it. I'm just excited to help those. But I'll also be there for like the girls, the Lady Vols in the off season. I'm telling y'all now, if y'all want to get some work in, hit me up. Let's do it. I'll get you in the gym anytime y'all want if I'm available. And I'm just coming to be there, to be back in Knoxville and to support. I think it's a great time to do that.
The good thing is we're starting. I mean, we're still not around the corner. We got a couple more corners, but we're getting past this whole COVID thing, and we're hoping that there'll be a lot more ability for the kids to play this summer. I mean, to actually play pickup and get in the gym and all of the things you need to do, because as you know, I mean, champions are made in the off season.
Yep.
That's where you get better. You got to get in the gym. You got to stay in shape. You got to, I mean, everything, whatever your game you need to work on, you do it in the summer. Are you going to stay in the car or do you want to go in your house?
I'm good. I'll sit right here for a minute. When Sandra comes home, she can take Chica up. Oh, there she is. So that'll work. And then I have a lot of stuff from the event, so I'm not trying to push it.
All right. Have you got a pack still tonight? Or
I do. We still have some things to do. But I'm here for y'all, man. I'm here for y'all.
Man, I hate packing. Well, once you get settled, we'll obviously check back in with you. You'll be here, you think, tomorrow afternoon, ballpark?
Probably 4:30. We'll start to get there and unload the truck and all that stuff.
We definitely want to thank our sponsors, OrangeMountainDesigns.com. I am wearing one of the shirts with the Jeep on it from the Life is Good line. It is a discontinued line. So if you want this Life is Good stuff with the Jeep and you got to go get it now. Go to OrangeMountainDesigns.com because all of it's moving. All of those t-shirts are on the way. So if you have always wanted that Life is Good line, be sure to get it. Tennessee Tap House, of course, Sam Strong, and Blue Water Climate Control, because it's getting hot, people.
Hello, this is Jeremy from Blue Water Climate Control. I grew up in Tennessee, and when I was 9 years old, the World's Fair came to Knoxville. I was in awe of the Sun Sphere. I dreamed of living in Knoxville. To me, it was the center of the world. After 24 years in the Navy, I've been around the world and visited dozens of countries. My family has moved all over. Now here we are running Blue Water Climate Control right here in Knoxville, the dream I had when I was just 9 years old. Blue Water Climate Control, veteran service, superior value.
Those are really cool commercials, man. Good job, whoever did that. But definitely, it's 80 degrees here Friday. So, by the way, it's going to be hot when you get here. I'm not sure what the weather's doing over there. Everybody's asking me about the transfer portal. Last I checked, there were 900 and something players in it. And I think everybody expected this with this first year where there's going to be a waiver and you can play right away. Will that number come down eventually? Probably as things move forward. But one thing I want to emphasize to people, obviously everyone knows right now Tennessee only has one player in the portal. And as of now, I only expect Tennessee to have one player in the portal. I think the rest are coming back. That, of course, Destiny Salary has decided to transfer. And one thing I always caution people about is you never exactly know why. So one, don't go after the player for doing it. And one, don't blame the coach either. There are one side, two side, three sides, and maybe even four sides to every story. And a lot that goes on in those end of season meetings that has to be worked out. And sometimes it just becomes a mutual decision. So the best approach for any fans is you wish these kids well as they move on, and then focus your attention on the players that are coming back, because that will be your Lady Vol team this coming season. Alexis, from a player point of view, those end of season meetings, those one-on-ones that you do with the coach, help us out. What are they like? What happens in those?
Well, you sit down and you kind of put it all on the table. You know, coach asked you to summarize what your thoughts of the season, your performance, what you could have done better, what you've improved upon, and what you plan to bring to the table and improve on for the upcoming year, like in the off season for the upcoming year. You also get the feedback of the coach's perspective of how you did or what you did, where you grew, or what you still need to heavily work on, or areas that started to show up later in the season that might not have been there earlier in the season. So it's almost like having your final exam and just putting it all together and putting it all out there. And then as a player, you basically decide, hey, is this something I'm willing to buy into? Whatever it is that specific coach is asking you to do or to work on or to improve upon, you have to ask yourself, am I willing to do this for this team? Am I, not just myself, but for this team? Am I completely bought in? And nowadays, I think because everything is so easy to get in and out of, a lot of the kids don't take the time to really answer that question. But I believe that everybody asks themselves that question. It's just easier that if you're like, I don't know, you can just go to the portal, especially if the coach also, I don't know if this kid's really going to do it. I believe that coaches fight for players that they truly want. And players fight for the teams and the positions that they're in to stay there. And it might not always work out. Like you said, it could be something that doesn't click with the player. Could be something that doesn't click between player and coach, players and staff, players and school. Could have nothing to do with basketball. Could be a family thing. And that's what it comes down to. You have your come to Jesus moment about what you thought you did that season and what you need to do next. And coach does the same thing and decisions are made.
That's a good point of view. And I appreciate that, because a lot of people have asked me what happens in them. I'm like, well, I know somebody we can ask. We can ask somebody who's actually been in one. I mean, I hear second, third hand what happens, but that's nothing like being in the room and actually participating in it. Jessica Gwynn said she can spread the word for you at her husband's school for that private training. I know some girls who would love that. So once you get settled, you need to let people know how to reach you back home and start setting that up.
Absolutely. I will get all of that. Actually, I'll probably have all that situated within the first week of being there, just because that's what I'm coming to do. Like, that's my livelihood. That's what I do. But yeah, I'll let you know, Jessica. And also you can let your husband know. I'll go back to doing my team trainings as well, where I go actually fill in for like an hour and a half practice, and we go through some things. And at the end, I talk to him a little bit and we do Q&As, and that's it. I just always want the basketball experience to leave them with a little more than basketball.
Back to the transfer portal, people are always asking me too, and I'm not asking you to talk about recruiting because I'm not going to use any specific names. One, I don't know of any right now, but is Tennessee going to add anyone to their roster? My answer to that is, will they look at the portal? Absolutely. You got to see who's in there and see if there's anyone that could help or that could provide depth. Or, I mean, the first question I think some people would ask is, depth in the paint. We saw what happened this season when Kean gets hurt, Jaden gets hurt, Marta gets hurt. All of a sudden, your power forward position just was wiped out. I also think the core of what Tennessee has returning is an excellent team. The Ray Burrell will be a senior.
Mm-hmm.
And there's something about senior urgency. Jordan Horston, Tamari Key are going to be juniors. That's a big jump, that sophomore to junior year. And I'm really hoping they will have a normal summer where they can actually get in the gym, play each other, not have time restrictions or how many could be in there or who could touch what ball. I mean, it was crazy this whole past year. I mean, you couldn't even share a basketball when you went to play. I mean, but now, as we can tell from social media, people are starting to get vaccinated. So we're hoping that we could turn this around. Kelly's camps are set for June.
Okay.
So that's assuming everything goes as planned. So tomorrow morning you won't be here yet, or Saturday morning you will be here. There'll be open practice for the fans to watch.
Okay.
For Vol football, if you want to go to Neyland Stadium and really go back in time.
I know, right? It's been so long. I might do that, depending on how tired I am from the move. But
let's go back to the NCAA tournament before we let you go. We'll keep this about 30 minutes, and we'll do it every Thursday at 7:30. And we're going to line up some guests who have some special folks come in and talk to us. But what do you think a young player watching this tournament this year, particularly for teams that lost in the earlier rounds of the Sweet 16, do you think they saw, okay, this is what it takes to get there. This is how hard it is.
If they didn't see that, Maria, this is not the sport for them. There's no way you play in an NCAA tournament or even watch the NCAA tournament and don't feel like that. Because I told you how it made me feel, and I'm not playing. So imagine being a player who got kicked out in the first, second, third, fourth round, right? Hey, listen, if we just tighten up on defense, if we communicate better, a lot of the games came down to finishing plays, players hitting open shots. Like, be able to knock down those open shots, get on the boards, push tempo. If you don't get hungry and say, this is it, and something click, I would advise you, don't go to the portal and don't return back to your school. Change sports.
Kimberly Agas, will the team be vaccinated? Kimberly, I mean, I have seen individual posts about vaccinations. As with everything, I mean, if you have a medical reason that you cannot, or if there's any other exemption you have, you would not. But otherwise, I believe that the vaccinations are available now, and players are starting to get them. I'm basing that on what I see in social media feeds coming over. I know both Coach Sullivan and Coach Lacey posted on their social media, like, praise Jesus, we've gotten vaccinated, so you can see some personal things. Jennifer Sullivan, of course, we talked about that before. She's coming back. Memphis hired the coach out of Wright State who beat Arkansas in the NCAA tournament. And I think Memphis they wanted someone with head coaching experience. There's a lot of openings. Oklahoma's still open, of course, as far as I know. I haven't seen any news there. But it's also a weird year to try to change schools, just because, I mean, none of your interviews can be done in person. And I think it's good that Kelly's staff is coming back intact. There's some continuity there. And I know Coach Sully, as they call her, she's made a very good connection with the guards. So, and recruiting, as you know, recruiting is relationships. And if one assistant has been recruiting you for, in this case, 2 years now that they've been here, and then that assistant is gone, it's hard. You do build relationships with the assistant coaches. Who was the primary assistant coach who came after you?
Mickey and Nikki. It was kind of like a split thing, obviously, because Mickey left. So I'm guessing they kind of knew that. They were kind of splitting duties. But DeMoss and was the lead of that. That's why I'm like, oh man, she's not even here.
I know that those things are hard. Trish Hepner said holiday tournament was announced today. Does UT have a tournament schedule? I haven't heard one yet, but there's still a long way to go before all of these Thanksgiving holiday tournaments are announced. So I don't know. I would hope they could. Obviously, the one they were going to take to Mexico got canceled because of travel issues and COVID. So that I would hope. I think that would be a very beneficial thing for Tennessee to have one of those Thanksgiving holiday tournaments where you see some good teams back to back to back. Particularly when you're working in 4 new freshmen, it gives them a chance to really get an early taste of what this is going to be like. Laura Ward said, Lex, we need you to run the old lady camp discussed on the positive page. I agree. We need it. There needs to be a camp for old people.
We can do it. We can learn. I can teach y'all, help y'all learn the game and all that other stuff. Let me get situated with my primary basketball job, and I will make sure we make that happen, Laura. I remember that conversation. So,
if you, I think if you explain the difference in all the different screens, because we all hear the terminology, you know, down screen and ball screen and go under the screen or top of the screen. It would be really cool to have someone who could explain to old people, okay, what exactly does all that mean? So
yeah, we can do it all. I'll teach you the fundamentals of the game. I mean, y'all pretty much understand the game and how it flows and how it works, but you know, the intricate details, I will definitely help you with those.
I remember I wrote one time about somebody shooting at the elbow, and I had somebody say, "What in the world is that?" And I thought, you know, sometimes I probably should explain the elbow is that point, you know, where the free throw line, the box there, where the free throw line in the corner.
Yeah, I would say the free throw lines. That's your elbow. You got the right elbow and the left elbow.
But I had somebody say, "What do you mean she shot from the elbow?" And I'm like, she thought I meant the elbow, like, you know, like I don't know what that reminded me that sometimes we all need to write clearly and speak clearly.
Make sure people can understand, right? I got it.
Yes, and teach us all how to make some free throws so that when somebody misses a free throw, we can legitimately say, you know, I could have made that, you know. So, of course, it's a little different when you're tired and it's a game and your legs are dead and you
up the entire game, and yeah, it's a lot different. It's a lot different.
But Creedon said they wish the Lady Vols would have an alternate blue jersey. Let me just get on board with that. That would be awesome.
Oh, that would be nice.
Yeah, that would be incredible. Cool. Lars says, I think we know someone who can help with marketing. Hint, hint, 2MC. Yes, I can help. I could help with Mark. Jessica's going to come to our old lady camp. We're going to have a lot of old ladies at this camp. We'll welcome some old men too, but basically it's to help us older folks understand what we're talking about.
Oh, and yeah.
What we're watching, and also how to be a good fan, how to understand what's going on, and just all of those things. Renee Sweeter, she's coming in for old people's camp. Here we go. We're just gonna have.
PC
I will be in charge of the post-camp beer party. That will be my contribution.
I love it. I love it. I love it. What else we got, Maria?
That is our main stuff. I wanted to talk about the tourney, the transfer portal, WNBA draft. It's April 15th for those who want to know. 7 o'clock, I believe. It'll be on ESPN. So very curious to see where Renaya goes in that draft. And you know what a big deal that is. I mean, that's special.
I'm glad they have time in between to really take it in, to be honest. You know, once they started to give that time in between, I think that was the best thing that ever happened to the athletes that are entering the draft. Because, I mean, whether you're coming off a win or you just lost, you're still processing your last season as a college player. So I'm glad that they get to really know what that feeling is. It's not like, oh yeah, all right, this happened, now we got a draft. You know, it's like, hey, the draft is in, you know, a week, 2 weeks. The draft is in 3 days, you know, and it's like, okay, it's coming down to it. This is what I've been waiting for. So I hope everybody gets those nice, you know, little butterflies in their stomachs, big smiles, Kool-Aid smiles across their faces. And not only making themselves proud, but making their family and loved ones proud as well.
Yeah, you guys got that was the plan, and it sort of made sense. You got drafted in Tampa, of course. I mean, not even 24 hours after the end of your last game at Tennessee. I remember Candace Parker was late. Y'all were delayed getting there because Candace couldn't get all dressed up in time. And I mean, I was still interviewing Pat at like 11:30 at night at the Hyatt celebration, and I'm thinking in this draft at like noon or 1 o'clock. I mean, and I'm like, they are going to be hung over at this draft. I mean, and then I remember there was a 9 a.m. press conference, and I'm like, stop. I mean, and they did it because they said, well, all the media is there in Tampa. We'll just do the draft. And we're like, no, the media is tired. We are very tired.
Everybody was tired, but you know, it was still a great experience. But I'm definitely glad that they break that up now.
Yes, I agree. Jessica said, is Renaya doing a watch party with her teammates? I believe Renaya is home and will have a party at her house with her family in Jacksonville. I don't believe Renaya Davis is still in Knoxville. She's been in and out, but you know how it is. As soon as that eligibility up and you get an agent, you got a lot to do. You got a lot to take care of. Well, Lex, go Pack. Safe travels.
Thank you.
And thanks everybody for participating in the Buck and 2MC show. We will be back next week, assuming Lex has got internet and set up or has a place to set her phone. 7:30 on Thursdays. Please support our sponsors as always: Blue Water Climate Control, Orange Mountain Designs, Tennessee Tap House, Sam Strong, Orange Mountain Designs. All of their Life is Good attire is being eliminated because that's the way contracts work. Sometimes you have all the stuff and then sometimes you don't have the stuff. So if you want these Life is Good t-shirts, go to orangemountaindesigns.com, get yours tonight. Please keep supporting Orange Mountain Designs because that's the only reason we can keep doing this.
Absolutely.
All right, go Pack. And next time I see you, maybe it'll be close to being in person.
I hope so.
All right, take care.
All right, see y'all. Goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Love y'all.